You arrived in Romania last year as a deputy chief of mission at the U.S. Embassy in Romania. After 1 year spent here, what's your overall thought of this country and which are the endowments you've been involved in so far?
Well, the first time that I visited Bucharest was 1998. I was working in the Republic of Moldova, and I came to visit Bucharest, and so when I came back to work here, I was really excited to see how the city and how the country had changed. A lot has happened here in that 20 years. And so my role at the embassy is really to support everybody else doing their jobs. And so I'm part of all of the priorities of our mission, which, if we put them into categories, would include enhancing security cooperation, supporting democracy, and increasing prosperity in both of our countries. So I've gotten to be involved in all of those different goals for the mission. And what I'm really excited to see in Romania is this chance of this increased sense of potential. That people are interested in looking for ways that they can move the country forward, move their own businesses forward, increase their education, and find ways to improve the whole country.
Having a relatively modest level of immigration, Romania is situated second after Syria in terms of diaspora growth and growth rate. So most of those who leave the country are people aged between 25 and 38, which are very important to Romania's economy. And we were interested to find out your opinion regarding the ways to make Romania more attractive to its own people and what the authorities could do to stop this trend of people leaving.
Well, it is a challenge. Romania's population in general is very educated, and all of the companies, certainly the American companies who come here, one of the reasons they invest in Romania is because of the large amount of people here who they can find who speak wonderful English, are very highly educated and skilled, and really dedicated. So it's a challenge when people are leaving. I think there are probably two categories of actions that the government and that we can also work on to encourage more of those expatriates to return home. One is on the economic side. Obviously, if you have increased investment and increased business growth, and people have wages that can support them, they're going to stay in their home country. I've talked to a lot of Romanians who have left and wanted to come back, and they say, we always want to come back. It's not that we want to leave forever, but if we can make more money somewhere else, we will. It's sort of the way economics works. So growing the economy in a way that is sustainable, in a way that increases foreign investment, and that is more transparent would help. And then the other half that we certainly hear from the expatriate community, and certainly you've seen in the press as well, is hope that Romania will continue to safeguard the rule of law, to make sure that people know that the laws in place will be enforced, and that they will be protected under the laws that exist. And so I think that discussion is really important to continue.
In the US State Department report issued this year, investors are being warned about business in Romania, the risks of having business in Romania. So which are the risks of having business in Romania, and which are the improvements you'd recommend to the county council in order to make Vrancea more interesting to investors?
Well, I think first of all, there are great signs that investment is increasing all over Romania. On the U.S. side, U.S. investment in Romania is increasing, and the trade between our two countries is increasing every year and in significant amounts. So that's really good news. In terms of improving that, I talked about the importance of transparency and predictability and stability in the government and also in the fiscal and tax regimes, which increases investment and reduces the risk. I think also Romania isn't unique in this, but foreign investors often need some help understanding how business works in a certain country. Because every country has different taxes and different rules, and so regions or countries who have set up kind of a one-stop shopping for potential investors, where they don't have to go to the tax office and the land office and the business office, but there's one place they can go to get information, would make a very big difference. And I think something else that could also help increase investment and grow the economy is effective use of EU funds, which is very challenging to do because there are a lot of rules. But again, having some expertise in the regional government or the central government, where people can go and get that support, I think would also be very useful.
In April 2004, Freedom House, together with Reporters Without Borders, made a vast article on freedom of speech in local and central press in Romania. And they presented also Ziarul de Vrancea struggle.
Yeah, I read about that.
To defend their policy of freedom of speech in a context where pressure was applied by the county council when they, and I quote here, when they laterally terminated the contract which had authorized the newspaper to be sold at public newsstands. So in April 2002, the municipality requested the help of the police force to destroy several of Ziarul de Vrancea points of sale. As a result, the white media coverage devoted to images of cranes stealing apart newsstands, to which journalists have changed themselves, Ziarul de Vrancea became a symbol of the crackdown of the local press. So from your role now, how does freedom of speech look like in the context of local and central Romanian press, and compared to what the US report showed back in 2004?
Well, we see the press and the free press as, in our system we would say it's the fourth branch of government, because it's the branch that keeps the government accountable. And so it's very important that the press all over the world, and certainly in Romania, is able to fulfill that role, to be able to ask questions and get information and report without fear of retribution, because that increases people's confidence in their government, it increases the information people have access to, and it also allows, it helps, I think, citizens be more critical consumers of information, which is really, it's a big problem around the world, certainly in Romania, certainly in the US. How do you determine where to get your information? And so having an independent and free press is very important. And there certainly are, in Romania now, journalists who are committed to that. And we hope that we can support that in any way possible. One is by doing interviews and allowing maybe some more information to be shared. But we also do trainings for journalists to help them learn how to counter maybe narratives that aren't correct. We had discussions at universities about how to be an educated consumer of information. And so I hope we can support in any way we can, because having a free press, having an independent press with a variety of views is so crucial to having a functioning democracy.
How do you see the Romanian judiciary system in terms of independency, and how would you comment on the legislative proposal issued by the Special Parliamentary Committee, which generated large protests in Romania?
Well, on the judiciary piece, the judiciary in Romania has a reputation for being independent, and has, I think, shown that independence in the past year in clear statements and even their own protests, voicing concern about the legislative proposals. And for our part, we also were concerned with the proposed changes to the criminal code and the criminal procedure code, because if they were implemented as they are, they could really damage law enforcement cooperation. And you probably saw the statement that the U.S. Embassy put out with 11 other embassies in June that says exactly that. That's what we're concerned about. And so I think just as it's important to have independent consultation of the press, it's also important for lawmakers to have consultation with experts from many different areas. So cooperation with the Venice Commission and with Greco and with the judiciary themselves and the HSM, and those groups can really make a difference in making sure that laws that are passed are meeting the purpose that they were intended to meet.
How would you comment on the use of force during the diaspora's protest on the 10th of August, when riot police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse the protesters? And on this page, video footage showed on social media police beating non-violent protesters, holding their hands up. So why, in your opinion, nobody was held responsible yet for what happened there?
Well, I think the process is ongoing. The last I saw, there were more than 400 complaints that were filed that are being investigated, and that makes sense to follow, again, a transparent legislative and law enforcement process to investigate what happened. And we certainly support that conversation. We talked about the importance of freedom of the press. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution puts all of those rights together. Freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly. And so we very much support the idea that people should have the right to assemble peacefully. And so I hope that the ongoing discussions and investigation also reinforce that very important right for people to voice their concern in their democracy.
Could you share with us a few words regarding your visit here in Vrancea?
So I was really excited to be able to come here. I've been here a year in Romania, and I still haven't traveled everywhere I wanted to. So the anchor, the focus of the visit was the Focșani Blues Festival, which I attended last night. But I'm also doing a few other things while I'm here. So today, besides talking to you, I'm going to meet with an NGO. I'm also going to talk to some of the alumni of U.S. exchange programs who are here, and I'm going to meet with some small and medium businesses here with the SME Council. Usually our goal when we travel is to try to get a picture of what's happening in the region, because we know that Romania is more than just its capital. I love Bucharest, but I also love to see other places. So that's there's a few things that I'm doing while I'm here.
Did you already have visits with discussions with local authorities, or are you going to have them today?
I haven't, and I hope that I can come back and do that as well.
I followed an interview you had on Radio FM.
I saw that, yeah.
And you were saying a really interesting thing, that music is often one of the most welcoming forms of democracy. Because when you are playing music from a certain country, you learn about that country. So, as Focșani Blues Festival just happened, which are your thoughts about this year's edition? And was there any involvement from the US State Department in the organization or support of this event?
Well, we've been following the project closely. This is the third year of the festival, and I think, as you said, for me, music is one of the ultimate forms of diplomacy, because you're learning about another culture, and so it's so neat to see a festival like this that brings together artists from all over the world to Romania, to Focșani, And of course, you know, I have a small bit of pride because blues originated in the US, and so to see this connection between so many countries, Romania and the US, is really neat. So last night I saw the performance of the Dutch blues band and 2 American blues singers who were just fantastic. And it also reminded me of how connected we all are, and how you can use music as a way to share and to connect with other people. So I was really excited to be here. I hope we can get more American artists next year, and I hope I can come back before.